What is up, cinephiles, and welcome back to Screen Kings. For today's video, let's talk about the Netflix psychological thriller Loving Adults, aka its original Danish title, Kærlighed, Voksne, directed by Topsoe-Rothenborg. This one tells the story of the breakdown of a marriage between Christian, played by Salim, Eleonora, played by Sonja Richter, as the latter suspects her husband having an affair with his younger co-worker, and both of them will go into extreme measures to get what they want. So if it's not yet obvious, this movie is anything but loving. These two commit crimes against marriage. They lie, they cheat, they gaslight each other, they manipulate each other, they blackmail, and possibly murder each other. So it's obvious that there's no love between these two, and their relationship is just a power struggle. Both of them are trying to be dominant in this relationship, most especially for the wife. You think that this woman is your stereotypical, overly paranoid wife who loses touch in reality, but then her demeanor quickly changes from a sympathetic victim into a femme fatale, someone who has a lot of fury, mostly rooted from her dark past. So this woman is definitely manipulative, and Sonja Richter here has the range to pull off the duplicity in this character. Meanwhile, Christian here, played by Salim, is more of a reserved kind of character, but you can see in his face the wear and tear in their relationship. He's frustrated, he has a lot of dread and regret. His lover basically gives him an ultimatum to choose between her or his wife, and Christian here makes a big mistake in this movie, and it only gets worse from here no matter how hard he tries to fix it. You think that this movie is your stereotypical love affair story. We've seen so many stories about divorce and jealousy, but then it switches into something else. In the middle of the film, a tragedy happens, and that tragedy will be exploited by one of the characters. The ulterior motives will be revealed, causing a shift in the power dynamics. From there on, there will be twists. This movie is packed with twists, one on top of the other, and depending on the reception of the audience, it can range as somewhat unpredictable, possibly ridiculous, definitely trashy at one point, or improbable. So it becomes a little bit silly, but then one thing is for sure, you won't get bored. It is enjoyable to some degree. Actually, while watching this movie, I thought it would be good doing a reaction video or maybe a commentary while watching, because there are a lot of silly and wild things that happen in this movie that it might be fun if you pick apart the narrative gaps in this film. But then I will just keep this review short and sweet and non-spoilery, so I'll spare you that, guys. But obviously this is the type of film where it has unlikable characters front and center, and you're not supposed to root for them. You're supposed to wait for their comeuppance. If you're going to compare it to another film, the first thing that will come into your mind is Gone Girl, in a sense that both couples have dirt on each other. So the question moving forward is, are they going to turn on against each other, or will they stay together and be miserable in each other's company? So the thing that Gone Girl does it better, why Gone Girl is the superior film in my opinion, is that even though you have unlikable characters, they're still compelling enough. For example, the character of Rosamund Pike, you feel disgusted by her action, but there's a side of you where you're compelled to see whatever crazy thing she does next. As for the characters in Loving Adults, most of the time I'm just feeling a sense of repulsion to them. And moreover, in Gone Girl, I think it was established early on through the flashbacks that these two people genuinely care for each other. There are moments of affection shown in the flashbacks, but none of that happened in this film. None of them were shown explicitly, so that baseline for romance is not in there. So when you see these two people going against each other, there's no heartbreak in that. I'm not emotionally feeling for these characters. Maybe the only time that I'm feeling sympathetic for them is mostly due to the acting, but then I was reminded, of course, I backtracked, because these characters are basically rich white people who have it all, but they choose to engage in unethical and immoral activities. So that annoys me, despite the couple in Gone Girl basically doing the same. So I think it all comes down to execution. Obviously, these kinds of films are built to show the weaknesses in the marriage, to illustrate that fine line between jealousy and love that can drive people insane, to make them do crazy things against each other. But then again, that sentiment is not properly conveyed because this film does not really focus on the internal turmoil of the characters. It does not acknowledge much of their emotional difficulties that they have to go through. This film is more focused on delivering plot twists and payoffs, that it forgets to focus on the character depth, that even if these characters are written to be unlikable, they still need to be compelling. But other than that, when it comes to the technical aspects, the production values is good. The musical score is there to ramp up the tension. I can feel that sense of danger. There are good performances, especially to the two leads. Some good location shots here, especially when they show the Danish countryside. If there's a detail that I did not love in this movie, it would have to be the voiceover from the police officer investigating their case. I thought that was a bit of an odd choice and not the best choice for the film. But overall, this movie, it's engaging, it's curious. If you're looking for a psychological thriller to watch, I think Netflix has a lot worse in their library than this. And even if the plot twist and the melodrama doesn't work completely on me, I would have to still put merits on this one because it really tried to revitalize that infidelity thriller subgenre, making sure that you are surprised along the way. I'm gonna give this one a 2.5 out of 5. That might be a middling grade, but I would still give this a weak recommend because the reception for this film might depend on the viewer, so you have to see for yourself. So yeah, let me know if you've seen this. Hit them in the comment sections down below. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video, give this a like and subscribe if you haven't yet for weekly reviews. Thank you so much guys for watching. Until then, I'll see you all on the next one.